This video is sponsored by Train World, America's discount model train store since 1968. Hey everybody, it's Jimmy from the DIY and Digital, and today we are detailing N-scale building number 3. And it turned out pretty cool. Welcome back everybody. This video is sponsored by Train World. Those guys were awesome enough to sponsor the 10K giveaway and some more videos on my channel. You can check them out at trainworld.com. They're America's discount model train store since 1968. They have a huge selection, plus they're a lot of fun to follow on social media. I personally love following them on Instagram. So check them out, trainworld.com. Okay, so today we're doing another one of our detailing series on my 3D printed buildings, and we're going to be detailing building number 3, and a few unique things we're going to be doing today is we're going to be adding some creeping vines along the side and the back, and rather than using the roof that I include, we're going to be doing a custom roof, and it adds a little bit more detail. So let's go ahead and get started. We start as usual with a coat of spray paint that's going to be our base color. This color is linked in the description below. Next, it's time to do some masking. We mask off all the sections that we don't want the concrete spray paint color to be on. Now remember to take your time, especially on the hard edges. This also makes it very easy to cut when you need to cut out the little spaces that are going to be painted the concrete color. Before we paint the concrete color, we're going to use the base color again to seal the edges to prevent any leakage. We let that dry for about 30 minutes and then we paint the concrete color. Once that is dry, we can remove the masking. We're going to be using green for the doors and some of the window frames. This is a very classic look for a building. Now because this is acrylic paint going on a light color, you're probably going to have to use several coats on the door and put them on sporadically throughout your entire painting process. Now it's time to turn our attention to the windows. We gently paint the window frames with a fine tip brush using the edges to our advantage, and we are taking this very slow. And we go back and give our door another coat of paint. Now it's time to paint the windowsills. We're going to use a stiff, flat edge brush and some light gray paint. Using this technique speeds up the process a great deal, which is really nice on this building because it has so many windows. Now it's time for the roof. The kit comes with a roof that I printed out of PLA plastic, but this time I am using it as a stencil to cut a piece of rough grit sandpaper. And we paint the piece of sandpaper a flat black. And then we can paint a few of the details we're going to use a nice silver color. Now we add the double-sided tape to the roof. And install it. Now, I used a popsicle stick that I had cut to size underneath to make this roof more rigid. Here you can see me using a tube of black t-shirt paint to simulate the tar seal around the edge of the roof. I personally love this little technique. It gives a little bit of extra detail. Plus, it'll seal in your roof to prevent any light that you may have from coming through. Then we glue our little AC unit detail. And now it's time for weathering. We start as usual with our white pastels. We grind them over with some sandpaper, and we use these to accentuate the mortar in between the bricks. We then take kind of a rusty, lighter color brown and do that with the sandpaper, and then we brush this over the bottom area to simulate some dirt, some grime, some dust that would typically be on the bottom part of a building but not on the top. And then we grind up some black pastels for a little bit of grit and to bring out accents and details. Now I take a piece of black hobby foam and cut it to size and slip it in diagonally. This is to keep light from going through and keep you from being able to see all the way through the building. And then we use some double-sided tape to attach the building to a base that we have already weathered using the same techniques. I wanted to do something a little bit different for this building, so we're going to add some creeping vines. We start off by using a tube of white glue to draw our vines on the building. This is a very simple detail that's easy to do that can add a lot to your buildings. We then sprinkle coarse turf over the glue. Now you can mix this in with several different colors to give it a nice little variety. A slightly lighter, more yellow with a slightly darker green will give a good variety, maybe to simulate a few little leaves that are dying off. So that is how I made my coarse turf right here. We dump off the excess and add glue where needed. We also add some additional vines creeping along the base so it doesn't seem that the vines just sprung up out of nowhere. All right, so we've detailed everything, we've let it dry, we've sealed it in, and here are some product photos. I'm very, very happy with it. It's actually probably my favorite that I've done. I love the way that the creeping vines turned out. They just look absolutely phenomenal, as well as the sandpaper roof. This is actually my favorite one that I've done so far. So building number 3, always available in my Etsy store. I'm going to have this tutorial in the description of that Etsy listing, so you'll be able to find it easily. So that's it for doing that. Speaking of the Etsy store, I am debuting another HO scale building today. That's going to be HO scale building number 2. It is a 3-story building. It's going to be $15. You can check it out. Here's a couple pictures of it. It's in my Etsy store right now if you would like to purchase it. So that's it for today, guys. Special thank you to my patrons. I have them listed right here below. And if you want to become a patron, you can check out my Patreon page in the description below. Also, a special thank you to Train World, who sponsored this video. Those guys are awesome. Check them out at trainworld.com. And until next time, I am Jimmy from the DIY and Digital. Stay safe and happy railroading. That's a wrap for today. Except I have to do the other version. There's a fly buzzing around. Some of the drawbacks of shooting in a garage, you get flies.